So, welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs in a short span of time within 30 minutes so that your current affairs get covered on a daily basis and they get covered in a short span of time so that your entire day is freed up to study other parts of your UPSC syllabus. That's the purpose of this lecture series. Now, the thing is that we couldn't upload January 13th current affairs lecture, so we are uploading it now. Okay, so don't worry, all your days would get covered, all current affairs would get covered. If you are regular with this lecture series, we won't keep you hanging and dry. We would definitely make sure that all your current affairs get covered because some of you rely only on our current affairs. Therefore, I won't let you down. These current affairs are going to go on and no day will be missed. Now, as I always say this, just after watching this lecture series, you need to revise this lecture series as well. Okay, revision is important. Why? Because it helps you to consolidate these current affairs in your memory. You remember them for longer periods of time, and you can revise these current affairs from the notes provided by us. And these notes shall be shared on our Telegram channel. Now, where can you find our Telegram channel? Just below this video in the comment section, you'll find a link. You just have to click on that link. It'll take you to our Telegram channel, and from there you can download the notes for this lecture. Okay, so let's begin today's discussion. But first, let's take a look at the list of topics that we are going to cover in today's lecture. Number one is the issue of Vice Chancellor appointment. As you all know, that Vice Chancellor is the de facto head of a university. Now, universities in India are regulated by University Grants Commission, UGC. And recently, UGC has come out with new set of guidelines. These are draft guidelines, okay? But these new set of guidelines give central government more power as compared to state governments in the appointment of vice chancellor for universities. And state governments are not liking it, okay? They want their share of power to appoint vice chancellors in their universities. So what is this issue of vice chancellor appointment and how does it relate to the issue of federalism in India? Okay, we'll talk about this. Then we'll talk about Maha Kumbh Mela that is happening in Prayagraj. The reason why I have mentioned this topic in today's lecture is because Indian culture is also part of your syllabus, and this is a very significant event of Indian culture, particularly related to Hindu religion, but still, it is a mega event related to Indian culture. That is why we are going to cover it because questions related to Indian culture can be asked in your prelims as well as mains exam. In mains, they are definitely going to ask you about culture. So, we are covering this because it is Indian culture. Okay. Then recently we did talk about California fires, wildfires in California. Right now, state authorities, Californian authorities are spraying a fire retardant through a plane, okay, on the forests of California. And that fire retardant is pink in color. Okay, so what is this fire retardant? We'll study about this because wildfires are also a concern in India. Almost every 3 or 4 years, we see forest fires in the state of Uttarakhand and other parts of India. Therefore, knowledge about fires, wildfires, fire retardants is important for us, and that is why I've included this. And in the end, we'll talk about the tragic accident that happened in the state of Assam where various mine workers lost their lives. Okay. Now, these mine workers were actually working in a specific type of mine called rat hole mines. Okay. So, what is rat hole mining? Okay. Why is it banned by Government of India? Okay. Not Government of India, but National Green Tribunal. And if it is banned, then why is it still continuing? We'll talk about all the issues related to rat hole mining, which is quite rampant in Northeast India. Okay, so we'll talk about these four issues. So let's begin today's discussion, starting with topic number one, which is the issue of Vice Chancellor appointment. Now, look, all big universities in India have a chancellor. Okay, he's the de jure head of that university. He takes care of the entire university. But chancellor is an honorary post. It's generally given to governors of a particular state. So governor of a state is the chancellor of the state university in that state. Okay, president of India is the chancellor or visitor of central universities. Okay, so there is this honorary post of chancellor. When it comes to central universities, it's the president of India. When it comes to state universities, it's the governor of that state. But it is just an honorary post. The actual work is done by the de facto head of the university, who's the vice chancellor. Okay, he's the actual in practice head of a university. Now, universities are a contentious issue in politics of India. Okay, political parties want to control universities. Why? Because universities have youth, and youth is a good breeding ground for different political parties. Okay, so that is why the appointment of vice chancellor to universities is very, very, very important for different political parties. Now, recently, University Grants Commission, which regulates universities in India, came out with a set of draft regulations. Okay. Now, regulations means news. I'm sorry, rules that these universities have to follow. But draft means that they are right now not finalized. They are draft. Further discussions would happen on these draft regulations, and then they would be finalized and released by the government. Now, these draft regulations, which the universities have to follow, are controversial. Why? Because several states have objected to the provisions in these guidelines. Why? Because under these guidelines, central government has more power, gets more power to appoint vice chancellor to even vice chancellors to state universities as well. Okay, so basically, state governments have objected that you are bit by bit snatching away our power to appoint vice chancellors of our choice. Okay, and that is why this issue relates to federalism in India, because federalism means that center has its own scene of influence, okay, area of influence, and states have their own area of influences. But states are arguing that center is encroaching upon their area, okay, by somehow giving the central government more power to appoint vice chancellors to state universities. This is what is being objected to. Okay, now these are just draft guidelines. That means there is a system in place to appoint vice chancellors currently. Okay, right? And these draft regulations are trying to change that system. So, what is the current system? What is the current process of appointing vice chancellors? So, in 2018, UGC came out with a set of regulations, and those regulations related to the appointment of vice chancellors. All right. Now, as per those regulations, a search cum selection committee would be formulated, and this search cum selection committee will prepare a list of 3 to 5 eligible candidates for the post of VC. Okay, right? Now, from this list of 3 to 5 candidates, the chancellor of that university, not vice chancellor, chancellor of that university will appoint one candidate as the VC. Okay, so there is considerable power in the hands of this search cum selection committee, because this search cum selection committee gives the list of candidates from which a VC would be chosen by the chancellor. Okay, now as far as the central universities are concerned, okay, as far as the central universities are concerned, this search cum selection committee would be established as per the norms of that central university, and the VC would be appointed by the president, because president is the chancellor of central universities. Now, when it comes to state and private universities, well, there are different universities have different procedures of appointing this search cum selection committee, because this search cum selection committee has eminent persons in the field of higher education who then prepare a list of 3 to 5 candidates. But who will these people be in this search cum selection committee? Okay, who will be the members of the search cum selection committee? That is a different procedure. Okay, and every university follows that different procedure. Now, in case of state and private universities, one member of this search cum selection committee, one member of the search cum selection committee will be nominated by UGC chairman, and UGC chairman, well, is a part of central government. Okay, so when it comes to state and private universities, one member of this committee will be appointed by UGC chairman, and other members of a state university would be appointed by the law enacted in that state. So every state has enacted a law. As per that law, state universities shall appoint the other members of search cum selection committee. Now, what is controversial about the draft guidelines? Okay, so for state universities, the search cum selection committee is constituted as according to the state law. Okay, now, as per the new regulations, the chancellor shall constitute a selection committee comprising 3 experts. So in that search cum selection committee, 3 experts would be nominated by the central government. Okay, one expert would be by the chancellor, the other expert would be by the UGC chairman, and the third expert would be nominated by an apex body, the senate of a university, syndicate, executive council of that university. Okay, so basically the search cum selection committee shall have 3 experts. One would be nominated by the chancellor, the second would be nominated by the UGC chairman. Okay, now as I've mentioned before, chancellor of a state university is the governor of that state, and governor is appointed by the central government. Okay, it is not appointed by the state government. So the governor's nominee in this search cum selection committee would be by default central government's nominee. Okay, now why are state governments objecting to this? They are saying that this search cum selection committee will have 3 members. 2 of these members would be appointed by central government. One would be appointed by the university senate, but 2 members are appointed by the central government. How? One member has to be appointed by the government, the other member has to be appointed by the UGC chairman, which is also appointed by the central government. So states are saying that the search cum selection committee won't be of our choice. We have only one member in the search cum selection committee, and through this, the central government is going to dominate the appointment process of vice chancellors in all the state universities. And that is why this issue pertains to federalism, because federalism deals with sharing of powers between center and states. Okay, this is the issue. All right. Okay. Now let's move forward to second news item, which is related to Indian culture, about the Maha Kumbh Mela. Okay. So Prayagraj is hosting the Maha Kumbh this time. It is beginning today, also known as Purna Kumbh. Okay. So full Kumbh Mela. Maha Kumbh or full Kumbh Mela is one and the same thing. Maha Kumbh Mela is held every 12 years. Okay. And this Maha Kumbh Mela is held at 4 pilgrimage sites in India in rotation. Okay, so it is held at Haridwar, Prayagraj, Ujjain, and Nashik, and it is held in rotation. So it will be held in Haridwar, then after 12 years Prayagraj, then after 12 years Ujjain, then after 12 years Nashik. Okay, now when is this Mahakumbh Mela going to be held, and which place will be chosen for among these 4 places? Which place will be chosen for holding this Mahakumbh Mela is decided on the basis of astrological positions of Sun, Moon, and Jupiter. So astrologers decide what would be the date of Mahakumbh Mela and what would be the place. The place is decided, or place is chosen from these 4 areas. Okay, this is the thing. This is Mahakumbh Mela. Now it is said that Mahakumbh Mela, actually what happens during this time is that Sun, Moon, and Jupiter are aligned in such a way astrologically. If you believe in astrology, well and good. If you do not believe in astrology, then too. You just have to have this information because it pertains to Indian culture. So, Sun, Moon, and Jupiter are the planetary positions of these planets in astrology is aligned in such a way that it is a very auspicious time for devotees to take a dip in the holy waters. Okay, holy waters of the river around these areas. Okay, now Prayagraj and Haridwar also celebrate Ardh Kumbh, that means half Kumbh, every 6 years. But generally, the significant event is Mahakumbh or Purna Kumbh, which is held every 12 years in these 4 locations in rotation. Okay, now what is the significance of Mahakumbh Mela? So it is said that this religious significance is very simple. It is said that during this time, Sun, Moon, and Jupiter are placed in a very auspicious position, and therefore people who take dip in the holy waters of the river surrounding these areas would get a lot of benefit, spiritual benefits and whatnot. Okay, but there is other significance. There are other significance to this. Now look, all these four places are on the banks of rivers. So Haridwar has Ganga. Prayagraj is a place where Ganga and Yamuna and the ancient but now extinct mythical Saraswati river met. Okay. Ujjain has Shipra river, which is again a holy river. In Hindu mythology, it is believed that it was released by Lord Vishnu. And Nashik Triambakeshwar has Godavari river. Okay, Nashik is the place, Triambakeshwar is a temple there. It has Godavari river. Godavari river is also very significant in Hindu mythology. In fact, it is a holy river. It is also known as Dakshin Ganga. Dakshin Ganga means Ganga of the south. As you all know, among Hindus, Ganga is a very significant, religiously significant river. Godavari has been given the status of Dakshin Ganga. So in the south, it is a holy river. Okay. Now, apart from religious significance, which I just mentioned, the Kumbh Mela has played an important role in history by mobilizing and uniting society. So, lakhs of people gather over here, and sometimes people use this gathering to further their political motives also. In fact, during freedom struggle, these melas were used to spread nationalist thought and propaganda. Okay, so this is the significance of this large gathering as well. In fact, this gathering is so significant that this gathering can be viewed from satellites in the space also. Okay, it is such a big mega event. That is why we are studying it, because Indian culture is part of our syllabus. All right. Okay, that's all you need to know. Let's move forward with the third news item, which is pink fire hydrant. So, as you all know, that Southern California was suffering from wildfires. It burned a lot of towns also. The famous town of LA, where Hollywood is there, that also got burned because of these forest wildfires. So, what have the state authorities decided? Well, these forest fires are still continuing, and strong winds are also blowing, which spread these fires to farther locations. So, what the state authorities are doing is they are carrying big fire hydrants on a plane, and they are spraying these fire hydrants from that plane. Now, these fire hydrants are pink in color. Okay. Now, fire hydrants actually prevent forest from burning from these fires. Okay. The thing is that people are actually appreciating this move by the state of California, but many environmental experts are saying that these fire hydrants are hazardous not only to human health, but they are hazardous to the environment as well. Okay, so first let's talk about these pink fire hydrants, fire retardants. Okay, and then we'll talk about their environmental significance. Okay, so what are these fire retardants? So basically, fire retardants are those fire retardants are materials that prevent fires from spreading. Okay, they are used in fire extinguishers also and whatnot. Now, the US authorities this time are using a special type of fire retardant called Force Check. This is just a brand name. This fire retardant contains a particular type of salt called ammonium phosphate. You have to remember this name because forest fires are rampant in India also. So maybe Indian authorities can also someday use ammonium phosphate and spray it from a plane above. Okay, so this fire retardant uses ammonium phosphate, and the brand name of this fire retardant is Phosgec. Now, the reason for using ammonium phosphate is that it does not evaporate easily like water. If you spray water on a fire, water evaporates easily. But ammonium phosphate doesn't evaporate easily, therefore, it stays for longer periods of time and absorbs the heat from these fires. In fact, experts or authorities actually spray these fire hydrants just ahead of the fire. Okay, this fire retardant actually coats the vegetation, prevents oxygen from coming in contact with the plants, and because oxygen is a supporter of combustion, and there is no oxygen close to the plants because it has been covered by these fire retardants, so these plants do not get burned. Now, the thing is, ammonium phosphate is not pink in color. Pink color is actually added to this fire retardant, okay, so that it can be seen from far. Pink is a bright color, right? So to make people see this fire retardant from far away, that is why pink color is artificially added after this retardant is prepared. Okay, So now many people are actually saying that this is a requirement in California, this should be done, and that is why authorities are doing it. But many activists are saying that spraying this fire retardant is counterproductive. It's actually doing more harm than good. Now, why? Well, there are three big concerns with this pink fire retardant. First of all, it's quite expensive. It is quite expensive to spray this fire retardant from above using a plane. The plane requires, well, aviation turbine fuel. It is quite expensive to spray it. Plus, some experts say it is not that effective also. So you are spending so much money, but to no avail. So it's expensive, concern number one. Concern number two is impact on human health. Because this fire retardant, first check, contains toxic metals like chromium and cadmium, okay, which can cause cancer, kidney, and liver diseases in humans. Plus, this fire retardant actually, when it is sprayed, it accumulates in the nearby waterways, pollutes the rivers and streams, and destroys aquatic life also. So, it is bad for the environment, bad for human health, and not that effective, but expensive. Okay, so these are the concerns. But Californian authorities are going ahead with this. All right. And our last news item is with respect to issue of rat hole mining. Now, a terrible tragedy took place in the state of Assam, Dima Hasao district of Assam, where many mine workers lost their lives. So, rescue workers retrieved bodies of miners from a flooded rat hole coal mine in Assam. Now, this is not the first time that rat hole mining has led to disasters and death. In 2018, 15 rat hole miners died after being trapped for 2 weeks in a coal mine in Meghalaya. Now, first question is that we all should know the answer to: what is rat hole mining? Okay, so rat hole mining. Rat hole mining is a method and it is used to extract coal. So it is basically a coal mine. So rat hole mining is a method of extracting coal from narrow horizontal seams prevalent in Meghalaya and Assam. So what you do is you construct very narrow openings, very deep, narrow bores. Okay, they are so narrow that only one person can enter them. This one person enters this opening, goes deep inside the soil, and extracts coal out of it, and then, well, gives the coal. Okay, so coal is mined through this. This is called a rat hole mine. Okay, it's called rat hole because it refers to the narrow holes that we need to dig. Now, the reason why rat hole mining is used, if you follow the traditional process of coal mining, well, these narrow holes are not built. Okay, but rat hole mining is used because it is a cheap way of mining coal. Okay, you just have to drill these holes and send poor migrant workers, and they extract coal out of it. Okay, typically these holes are so narrow that only one person or a child can enter it. Okay, so once the pits are dug, miners descend using ropes or bamboo ladders to reach the coal seams and extract coal. Thing is that this form of mining is very dangerous. First of all, there is safety risk because they are cheap. They are used by poor miners. Okay, and these poor miners do this mining, and this type of mining is typically unregulated. So there is lack of safety measures, proper ventilation, structural support, or safety gear for the workers. Plus, this type of mining also has significant environmental risks. Okay, it has been linked to a host of ecological issues because it leads to acidification of rivers. Because what happens is during rainfall, these holes get filled. Okay, then acid trapped in these holes get out of the holes through through this rainwater getting out, and this acidified rainwater enters nearby streams, lakes, and pollutes it. Okay, it leads to land degradation also because there are so many holes dug inside. Then it leads to deforestation and water pollution. It also leads to acid mine drainage, which I just explained. Now the thing is, because of lack of safety, because of environmental pollution, National Green Tribunal actually banned this practice in 2014. But this practice is still continuing in Northeast India, especially in Meghalaya and Assam. Why? Because of poverty. Plus, the mining workers over here lack alternative livelihood opportunities, and that is why they sign up for working in these mines. Plus, The state governments are also not clamping down on these mines because it is a good source of revenue for the state governments of Meghalaya and Assam. So they are also not following up on the order released by National Green Tribunal. And that is why this practice is still going on. And many workers, many people are dying. Environment is getting polluted. It is getting destroyed. This is the issue. All right. Okay. And with that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I'm sure it has added value to your preparation. But like I say this every time, it will add more value if you revise. Please do not forget to revise. It will hardly take 10 to 20 minutes, but you will be able to remember these current affairs for longer periods of time if you revise them. Okay. So please do not forget to revise them. And on that note, I'll be signing off. Thank you so much, everyone.